Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Movie A Day with me, Kenzo Lee, for CoochieCouture.com. We are still here in beautiful Palm Desert. I thought it was really interesting that we're in Palm Desert and there is an enormous mountainscape behind us. It almost looks like, it looks like we're about to go skiing or something like that, but here we are in Palm Desert. It is day 3 of the Star Wars sextuplet series of sorts, and today we are doing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the last Star Wars movie, yet still only the 3rd movie out of 6, so somehow that makes sense. Directed by George Lucas, of course, starring Hayden Christensen, of course, Ewan MacGregor, Natalie Portman, Ian McDiarmid, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, and the awesome voice of James Earl Jones and Frank Oz. As the 3rd movie and the connector between the original series and the new prequel series, I would say this movie does a really great job of doing so. Some people still think that it's all cheeseball and hammy and stuff. It is really cool as a Star Wars fan to see the connection between Episodes 3 and Episode 4. And the way that George Lucas did it, he did a good job, George. Way to go. I'm very proud of it. I mean, obviously, the dialogue is still rough. That's the way that George Lucas always has his films, and the movie does have a few stilted, jilted points, but it does bring about the great connector between the 2 movies, which I think is really awesome. Hayden Christensen, of course, comes back portraying Anakin Skywalker, who is slowly going to the dark side, as his mentor Ben Kenobi tries to save him, as does his wife Padme, who is having twins, and it all has the backdrop of a big galactic battle. If you haven't seen the first 2 movies, you won't get the 3rd movie, so you should see the first 2 movies first and watch, the Emperor take over and all this stuff. And, it has Sam Jackson having a lightsaber, which is always really cool to have. So, a little bit tidbits knowledge. The only 2 characters to be in all 6 Star Wars movies are Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, playing C-3PO and R2-D2. They're the only 2 characters in the entire thing that had any recurring characters at all. Close behind them are, of all people, Frank Oz, who plays the voice of Yoda for 5 of the movies, and Ian McDiarmid, who plays the Emperor. But the interesting part of the Emperor is that he was actually, in the special edition of The Empire Strikes Back, they replaced the old actor who played the Emperor with the new actor, who was Ian McDiarmid, and he ended up becoming the Emperor for all the other movies. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. And then coming in at number 4 would be James Earl Jones' voice for Darth Vader. Another cool little tidbit of knowledge, the name of Tatooine, which is the city in which Luke Skywalker, the planet on which Luke Skywalker grows up on, and the planet from which Anakin Skywalker is from as well, is actually named after a city in Tunisia, which is where they shot Episode 4 and Episode 3's desert sequences. The only real set piece in the entire film, the only completely real set piece in the entire film, is actually one of the last sequences on Bail Organa's ship. It's the same as the ship in Episode 4. So the one with the white walls, the kind of the Corinthian kind of cool cruiser, same thing. If you look in the sequence after the first battle sequence, when they're landing in the on what's it called, on the main planet, if you look very closely, you will see the Millennium Falcon from Episodes 4, 5, and 6 in the far right-hand corner, or at least the ship looks really similar to it. What else is there? There really is not that much to say about it. It's a really cool connector between Episodes 3 and Episode 4. If you haven't seen the Star Wars trilogy, then you won't really appreciate this film as much. It obviously is not the greatest film in the world, but in terms of, bridging together 2 big pieces of movie culture, I think it's really, really important. So, for Movie A Day, this is Kenzo Lee. You can see all our videos on the YouTube channel, Coochie TV, COOCI TV, or you can also check them out at www.coociecouture.com. www.coociecouture.com. There you go, I said it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with Episode 4.